first of all, I want to say thank you for agreeing to um, do this little interview with me on Zoom and to let me come into your home for a few minutes this morning.
I am so happy to be here. And it's just so fun to see you and talk to you live because it's been a long time. And I have only one regret, and that's that I'm not wearing one of my beautiful zebra dresses because I have so many and I wear them all the time when I'm in the shop working and I feel like $1,000,000 all day long. And this is not an advertisement for that, but I just have to see it because it's so true. I absolutely adore everything you do. And
I feel like I recognize something in here.
yeah.
Is this kimono? This gorgeous kimono?
Oh, yes, yes, absolutely.
You
Yes,
remember her?
yes, yeah.
I was like,
And
who could wear a kimono this long? Oh, yes.
yeah, yes, exactly. And I love that you would tell me that. You're like, this one's for you. And it was so funny because it looks so planned in the book, and it absolutely wasn't planned at all. I mean,
Really?
no, not even remotely. I had literally, we were doing some photos, and I always like to be really comfortable. And that's another reason why I adore your clothes. It's because it's just like wearing pajamas. You can wear the most great, the best
Mhm.
dress and look amazing, and you just feel so good all the time. And so I, of course, wanted to be comfortable because I'm not comfortable with people taking pictures of me. So I'm like, I got to feel good, right? So I
Yeah.
had this black pair of pants or whatever and my little white t-shirt. And then I brought that out and I set it on the back of my sofa and I did a quick change and I walked outside and I until I saw the pictures, I literally never knew how well I went with my yard. It was so funny. And the
It's
flower
infused.
color, it was crazy. I'm like, people are going to think we planned that. Not at all.
I appreciate your point of view on the clothing because I've never wanted to be restricted in my clothes, but I love like silk charmeuse and hand woven linens and things like that. So
Yeah.
um, I'm all about it.
Yeah, yeah, me too. Me too. Love it so, so much. Anyway, so that was like so great for the book, and it's just
Oh,
fun. This
and
is
it's
so fun.
perfect. When I flipped open the page, I thought, that's my girl. I know it. So just to give everybody a little tiny background, I met Vicki and her gorgeous daughter Brooke when we found ourselves on the same trip in Morocco. And they were going to buy rugs for or set up some buy rugs
Mhm.
in Marrakesh. And I thought to find jewelry. Turns
Mhm.
out I went and bought rugs too, because apparently if you don't buy rugs when you're in Marrakesh, you're missing
You
an
kind of
opportunity.
dabble. You got a lot of different stuff. You really dabbled, I felt like. Yeah.
Did I brought back rugs, I brought back poofs, um, jewelry, all kinds of good stuff. But anyway, Vicki taught me everything about rugs that I needed to learn in my short, what we 5 days or 10 days there. It was great to meet you guys and to become familiar with Sister Golden, which is your store in Door County, Wisconsin, and to stay connected over all these few years since then.
Well, and you know what happened at the very end of that trip? You literally gave me the dress off your back.
Right, right. The love
And
tangent.
I was hooked. I kept telling you that I love the dress you were wearing. Pretty soon I go in the last night, there it is on my bed, folded up.
Mm.
It was the cutest
Oh,
thing ever. So anyway, no, it was just so much fun. Yeah.
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 Yeah, that was good. I'm glad that I hope you still have it.
Oh yeah. Oh no, I do. Definitely. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
I've been a fan of your artwork and I have the Hamza hand myself. But I'm going to show my personal favorite here. There.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
That's my personal favorite.
It's
This
the I just love to hear that. I love to hear people's personal favorites because it's so funny how I could never know what somebody's personal. I would never have picked that for you.
no?
The hamster hand, absolutely, but I just would have never picked that for you. And I just think it's so cool. you know, and he was just so spontaneous, literally. And I think I talk about it in the book, but literally it was like I had done something else, and carnations, I didn't really use them, that I had in a vase, and I said, I have to do something with these. So I started just ripping them apart, and then he went together in like 15 minutes. You know, it was like, oh,
Really?
yeah, and it was just so much fun. And I was like, is he too wild or what? And it was
No,
just, it was fun.
I know. Well, for those who are just getting familiar with your work, what I love is the delicacy of it, but also like the impermanence that you have. So I'd
Yeah,
love for you to just maybe tell everybody like
the
how to do
process.
that, how to do it, and how
Yeah.
you kind of have to work fast because of things wilt.
Yeah, yeah. So, and I think this is really something that when people are first looking at it, especially if you're seeing maybe an ad or you're just on our website and you haven't really like been there before, and you're thinking, oh, wow, you know, I mean, am I going to get like flowers? Like,
Right,
are
right.
flowers coming? No, because it's just it's almost silly how simple really the process is. And um because I'm literally going out and foraging anywhere. I mean, I could be walking down the sidewalk. I'm always walking at tees, but I'm walking with my head down. I'm looking for leaves, sticks, whatever. Even if I don't think I'm looking, I just spot things now, you know.
Yeah.
Or I'll just be out in my yard, and like especially in Door County, I'll just take strolls around my yard, and something will inspire me. And then if I get enough stuff, or maybe I have stuff already from something else in a vase or whatever, and then I'll bring stuff into my studio and lay it out on my table, and I literally just start playing around. Once in a while I have a plan, but for the most part I don't have a plan. And
Really.
yeah, it'll just be the foliage will inspire something. I'm like, oh, that looks like a yeah. Yeah, I mean, I wanted to do her. But I don't have a plan, and so I'll just start moving the bits and pieces, the botanical bits and pieces around, and placing them, and then something will show up. It'll be a landscape. It'll be a little scene, kind of like the dragonfly scene next to the owl, or it'll be an owl, or it'll be a person, or whatever. And I'm just using tweezers and a pair of scissors. So there's no glue
Good.
involved. None of that is glued down. That's all inspired by here in La Jolla, California, definitely. But
I love that one.
yeah, for her, I was walking to my favorite coffee shop. Like every morning, Craig and I would walk up the street to our coffee shop, and these leaves would be falling, or there was a school there that had these great trees. And I would just pick up the leaves and stuff them in my pocket. I didn't know what I wanted to do with them. And then pretty soon I'm like, oh, they kind of look like feathers a little bit. They're reminding me of feathers. And then I found her hair in CVS parking lot. I'm not kidding you. It's very hard to find brown, a perfect brown that's not all rotted in Mother Nature. And these leaves had fallen from one of the trees in the CVS parking lot. And I'm down on my hands and knees picking them up. I'm like, wait a minute, honey. And, I picked them up, and I didn't know what I was going to do with them. And then I got back and I was like, oh my God, between all the feathers that I had gathered from the coffee shop, and then that, I said, you know what? I think I could do something super cool that sort of reminded me of our trip west, driving to California from the Midwest. I was like, I don't know, this could be kind of fun. And so that's how she was born. But yeah, so I mean, that's really what I'm doing, is I'm just sort of like using tweezers and a pair of scissors to build, so all the pieces are just balancing on top of each other. So I mean, I tell
Wow.
everybody this: I don't have a ceiling fan, I don't have a cat. I'm just like I just have to be super careful. And then when I get, and it's not all the time, but when I get something the way that I want it, and I'm thinking, oh, I want to take pictures of this, I'll take pictures. Just I have a tripod with the camera on it. I used to have not that great of a camera. I have a little bit of a better camera now. And I'm trying to catch all the detail and everything. And I
Yeah.
point and shoot, and I use all natural light, nothing fancy at all. if I want to change the light maybe a touch, I'll take my white poster board and hold it up while I'm taking pictures with one hand and holding the poster board to sort of reflect light if it's maybe a little gray on one side or something. That's about as technical as I get. And then that's it.
What if you have to sneeze or you're just breathing?
I literally walk fast, like turn myself around. I've done like these sleeves like this, you know, like I've brushed my sleeve through pieces. I've dropped scissors through pieces. I've tweezers on pieces. I've left a piece overnight because I just use all dried stuff first. And then I was going to pop all the live stuff in the morning. And then I've come back and there's been like a whole eye that's just like all the pieces were dragged across the face. And I'm like, some bug is flying around the studio. Why the eye?
The hardest
like, you can never get it back the way you had it. But I've learned, like, I'm super careful. I try and be super careful. It doesn't always work. It was like 2 or 3 pieces ago. I thought I was being careful, and I did. I dropped my piece. I always text Brooke. I take a picture right away of the flaw, the disaster that happened, and I text Brooke, oh my God, with the cry emojis.
Right.
And that just happened, and I dropped my tweezers right in midstream. Boom, just, I don't know. It happened.
I think that I mean, that's life, but also when you're done with this, so you've created this, has taken hours, I'm sure. I mean,
yeah, cutting out the people for sure. Yeah.
Time of being very meticulous and clear, and then once you've photographed it,
once I photograph it,
you're like a Tibetan monk. You're just
that's it. Yeah. I mean, I have a little like dusting brush, and I take it, and I just, sometimes I'll have a basket and I'll just put it all in the basket, and then I take it out to my compost pile. That is from here in La Jolla. There's a street called Oliveda Street, and that's a house on Oliveda Street that just, I mean, it's my version of their house, but it was just so fun.
I love it. Do you ever have any like trepidation in just dissolving
Getting rid of it?
Yeah.
There's been a couple of pieces where it was really hard to say goodbye. And I kind of felt it was weird because I noticed the attachment. Like, I'm attached to all of them, but some of them, like, I just finished one about 2 days ago where I was just like, okay, I have to be done. Like, I'm done. Like, it was no problem getting rid of her. And I love her. I absolutely love her, but she was very stressful. Therapeutically stressful, but still stressful. And then, you know, but then there's some where I'm like, oh my God, this is like, I wish I could glue everything down, which I could never do that. But you know, it's not going to stay live if we're gluing it down. But sometimes it's hard. It's hard. And then I'll leave it for a couple of days so it looks bad. So everything's all shriveled up and gross. And then I'm like, oh, it's easy to say goodbye.
And I'm going to show a picture of you and your beautiful daughter, Brooke.
My Brookie, my sweet pea. Yeah. She is a ray of sunshine, I'm telling you. And it is the truth when I say in the book about how the book would never have happened without her. Oh, I could like, but it's the truth. I mean, she really, from day one, after, like, you know, I had been like creating pieces for a little bit, and she was always just like, you know, I want to share them on Instagram, and I want to do this and I want to do that. And she's just like always pushing me. The time in my life that I was doing this, I needed the push. Like, I needed somebody to be like, oh, you know what, this is cool. This is different. Like, let's, you know, Mom, you should. And so I'm like, okay. And she's always just been there for me like that. And then, like, and I talk about it in the book too. And we had talked about this earlier, you and I, about there's a room in our shop that was, you know, just in the perfect spot to be storage, fast, run in there, get bags. I had it all laid out in my mind, you know, and she's just like, hell no, that's not happening. She just like, it's going to be the gallery for your artwork. I'm like, oh my God, there is no way that many people are going to be coming in and buying from. I mean, the room is pretty big, you know. I'm like, there's just no, that's just too much pressure. I'm thinking that's just way too much pressure. But I mean, sure enough, it's all worked out.
Yeah. You start
Yeah.
getting the prints made, and then you
Yeah.
guys decided to put it into the book. And so this came out in the fall, right? We've just gotten
Yeah.
our puppies into the
Yeah.
shop.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was so unexpected. I mean, they had been Quarto, the publisher, their head editor, had been following us for quite a few years, and she emailed and said, "I really think that the artwork should be a book." And I was like, "What?" You know, I mean, a lot has to happen. You also have to feel like it's a good marriage, you know. And so when we were having our first initial meetings, Brooke and I loved them. We were like, it was just this group of amazing women that were going to be helping us and putting it together and stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, I feel like we're in such great hands. It was just like, it just felt meant to be.
Yeah.
And so it was just nice to get such a collection, you know, of over 150 pieces of art in one spot, which is really cool. Yeah.
Yes, to be able to flip through the variety of the work
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
incredible. And
Yeah.
then
It's cool.
to read your, you know, your verbiage in here and your story in the beginning. I want to show everybody the picture of you working in your studio there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Love it. I love it.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it was cleaned up a little bit there, but I mean,
Sure.
usually I've got crap everywhere, but it's just been so nice. And it's weird because we built that studio on our property. Um, we've owned that land and built that home there many years ago, but we didn't have a studio on it. And then we built the studio, and it was just, I've been a painter my whole life. I'm like, I always love to paint in facing north and east, a window. And that turned out to be perfect for this artwork too. I mean, it's just like perfect for photographing, and it just ends up being so great. So the studio is just filled with a lot of good energy. Definitely.
Yeah. Well, you
Yeah.
always bring a lot of good energy wherever you go.
Oh, you're so sweet.
What do you guys have planned for this year up at Sister Golden or in California?
Oh my gosh. Well, Brooke is coming out in January, and then she'll be back out in March, and we'll be doing like a lot of thrifting and all that kind of stuff, because for me, I love that layer of the shop that is just found and old and unusual, kind of like the rugs and pillows and stuff like that. But I love that because we had this great marriage of, you know, the faster selling things, a $16 coffee mug alongside a handmade beautiful platter from somebody, an artist or jewelry or whatever. So we've got this mostly handmade, then the faster selling stuff. And then when you layer in the vintage, one of a kind, thrifted, whatever it is, brass or whatever, I just feel like it just all sort of feels like really homey. So we love doing that here in San Diego. We have some really great places that we love. So when she comes out, we'll do that. And in April, we're having a facelift on the shop, where the shop is, you know, we inherited this house that's amazing, but it's from 1938, and the porch is pine and with snow and everything. I mean, it's gonna fall through. So we're getting a new porch. It's really a facelift that I think is gonna shine. So that's so great. And we're doing a couple different things in the gallery, and yeah, so it's exciting.
I really want to come up to Door County and check it out.
Oh my God, you should. Definitely.
Yeah, my friend Elizabeth has that
right,
RVO there.
We love her so much. She's so great. She would love it. Her and Jerry would love that. Would be so fun. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, you have no excuse now. You need to come.
No excuse. There's a place to stay and everything.
Exactly.
These are online on our site. We got them in yesterday, and we have a few copies, so you can get them online. Or if we run out, you can get them from Sister Golden. And I encourage you to look at their website, because it is, it's like the muse that drives us here. So you can see how gorgeous it is. And then you're going to want a rug or two. So check that out. And got one of your rugs right here.
Your add-on. This can be your add-on. No. No, I'm just like so thrilled. And just as one last thing, I think it's for people who haven't been through the book or whatever, what I love is that it's ending up being the perfect cocktail table book, because it's just something you can keep going back to. And people are telling me, I go back to it all the time because I always see something new. I didn't know this was going to happen either, but people are like, it's inspirational to read just little stories about, whatever I've put in the book. I don't know, but it's been kind of inspirational. And also I've had people tell me that they've taken it on vacation so their kids can do this while they're out like hiking and stuff. They come back to their camper or their site or wherever, the hotel, and they're bringing stuff back and they're like doing it. And I'm like, oh, that's so cool.
That's like a movement, Vicki. I
I
love
know.
it.
I was like, oh my God, that was just so cool. So I feel like it's sort of an interactive book a little bit.
I love it. Now I'm going to need a coloring book version of it.
Oh, I'm all about the coloring book. I already have it in my head. No, seriously, I already have it. Coloring book is on the way.
All
Definitely.
right.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah.
I want to thank you so much for taking your time to talk to me. I see
Oh,
that
thank
Zoom is
you.
going to cut us off in a minute. So
Okay, okay.